Hello and welcome back. I'm Natalie MacDonald and you're watching Sydney Direct on Dukascopy TV. Ian Pollari, head of banking at KPMG, believes that Sydney has all the tools to become Fintech's next hub, particularly for the APAC region. It's got all the tools, but does it know how to use them? Well, that's exactly the question I posed when I spoke to him ahead of the Financial Services Council's annual conference taking place in a few weeks' time at the Gold Coast. Ian Pollari, many thanks for taking the time to chat with Dukascopy TV today. We much appreciate it.
Good to be with you.
So today we're talking fintech, and we've seen a swift uptick in the number of independent fintech organisations. But in your opinion, could Australian financial institutions be better unlocking their fintech potential and increasing competitiveness?
Well, I'd place incumbent organisations into two categories. One of those categories are those organisations that are aware, that have engaged and are active in terms of working with fintech companies, and the other category are not doing much at all. So for the latter, I'd really encourage them to raise the level of awareness, education and understanding around fintech and the opportunities that will present. And for those that are active, I would really encourage them to have a more holistic and integrated view of how fintech can support them achieving their strategic objectives. For example, that will include them thinking about fintech capability and solutions that might help them solve for a particular operational challenge, but equally it could also present opportunities from a commercial standpoint in terms of partnering with a fintech startup to capitalise on an opportunity in the marketplace.
Is there the possibility that Sydney may even miss the boat on capitalising on that market?
Well, clearly we are in a competitive world for talent, capital and investment. And a lot of centres internationally are really mobilising around the fintech opportunity. London's a very good case in point, and it's really forged a reputation internationally as a leader in fintech. And they've done that through alignment, both at a public and a private sector perspective, and really have a lot of support from the likes of their Chancellor, George Osborne, to Boris Johnson, as well as the regulators who are really seeking to support the development of this segment of their marketplace. From a regional perspective, Singapore recently pledged $225 million to support the development of fintech over the next 5 years. There's a lot happening internationally. From a domestic standpoint, I'm really confident that Australia has all the ingredients to be a successful fintech centre on the international stage. We're really starting to see some momentum build. I believe fintech hubs like Stone and Chalk will really play an important role in terms of helping to promote and elevate the level of collaboration in terms of what Australia is doing around fintech. And equally, we've seen the regulators, so ASIC is a really good example where it's recently announced the creation of an innovation hub to help its engagement with this fintech community. So we're starting to see momentum build from a local perspective, but there's a lot of work to be done.
What sort of levels of engagement then are you seeing within this market, and how do you see this sector developing really over the next perhaps 10 years?
Well, I've certainly seen a shift in the mindset of boards and senior management teams in the context of thinking about fintech. It's less now about the threat of disruption, and I think it's more about the opportunity to collaborate and work with new fintech ventures. A lot of incumbent organisations, I think, are starting to recognise there's a real opportunity to tap into a lot of that innovation and ideas that will come from these fintech startups. And a lot of the startups actually want to work with incumbent organisations. So I think there's a good complementary set of objectives there in terms of fostering greater levels of collaboration. If we're to look out the next 5 to 10 years, I think the boundaries of how organisations will define themselves will evolve substantially to thinking much more expansively around the ecosystem. And what I mean by that is really organisations with a set of capabilities partnering with organisations like fintech ventures to deliver better consumer and investor outcomes. So I think we'll see a lot more thinking and definition of the market as a set of ecosystems and working with fintech companies to achieve strategic objectives.
Now, Ian, we're going to be hearing from you at the FSC's annual conference taking place in a few weeks' time. What's the key message that you'll be looking to share with attendees at the conference?
Yeah, look, in summary, there are really two takeaways. One is openness and the second is engagement. So really have an open mind to working with these fintech companies. We're developing and fostering a fledgling community. I've been really impressed with the quality and calibre of the fintech entrepreneurs and some of their ideas and new business models. And secondly, to engage hubs like Stone and Chalk, which really provide a platform for that collaboration to occur between incumbent organisations and fintech startups. So they're my key messages.
Ian, thank you so much for your time. We look forward to seeing you shortly at the Gold Coast.
Thank you.
We'll be hearing plenty more from Ian Pollari, Head of Banking at KPMG, at the Financial Services Council's annual conference taking place in a few weeks' time. For now, do stay tuned for more FX analysis and exclusive interviews from the Dukascopy TV team. Goodbye.